In a recent Q&A, the following question was asked. When a reading isn't going well or isn't going as you had hoped it would go, who is to blame? Is it the medium, the sitter, or is it the spirit world? Man, I get this question all the time. It's so easy to point the blame in other directions. But what really is happening? And who has the power to turn it all around?
Kay, I wanted to get your opinion on something because I've heard it different from different people. In terms of us sitting with someone and doing a mediumship reading, I've heard some teachers say, well, it's totally up to the medium. If it doesn't go, then it's the medium's problem. It's, something happened with the medium. But then I've heard other people talk about the triangulation. So it's, at different points of the triangle, there's the sitter, there's a communicator, and then there's a medium. And then it's all three that have to come together to make a reading really work. So I was just wondering what your opinion is on that, what you think or what you feel about that.
What that's a really good question, and I know there's lots of opinions out there. Um, I'll share with you my experience.
Mhm.
In my own experience, when I step back and take a look at my own situations, when things don't go the way that I want them to do, go, I would say 99.9% of the time it fell back on me. I have to be, really honest there. Yes, it's true that you've got a three-way, you have a three-way triangle point there where your energy is bouncing back between the three. And it's important, to get feedback back from your sitter. That's why we want them using their words and not just doing this, nodding. We need to hear it because that's part of that energy flow. But um, a lot of the times when the flow, and I would say the majority of the time, it's my own experience again, that energy flow breaks down because of the medium a lot. Now, that's not, that's not to say that, yes, sometimes we can have really difficult sitters. Yes, we can. You can't get around that. You can't. But as the medium, we are the person that's in control. So if we're the one that's in control, we should be able to somehow work with a difficult sitter and make it still may not be the best reading that you've ever given, but you should be able to still at least give a reading, one that you would consider a decent reading. So here's the thing that I think we just have to be cautious of. Um, uh, honestly, I'm sitting here racking my brain as I'm chatting with you. Is there ever what can I remember in my own experiences ever thinking it was the sitter or the spirit communicator that was interfering where I couldn't get this reading going in the right direction? And honestly, at this moment, I can't think of it. Now, 2 o'clock in the morning tonight when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and then one might pop in my head. But at the moment, I can't think of one really. But I can definitely say I've had difficult sitters. It made it harder, and I had to work harder. Here's the thing that we have to be really careful of. It's really, really easy for us to just say it was the sitter or the spirit communicator. It's so easy. If if we allow ourselves as mediums to use that regularly or frequently, I think we really need to look at ourselves. If it happens a lot, or you're, what's a lot? Well, I mean, I've been doing readings forever. So a lot, I'd just say frequently. If every time, once a month or so that happens to you and you chalk it off as, well, it was not a good sitter or the spirit communicator wasn't working with me. Well, first of all, I won't ever, I find it hard to believe that a spirit communicator won't work with you. If they chose you to be your medium, and they do choose you, if they choose you to be the medium, they choose you because they think they can work with you, and your spirit team thinks that they can work with you, and they will do everything in their power to help you to be successful. I believe that wholeheartedly. So I kind of cringe when I hear somebody blame the spirit world for a reading that doesn't go well. But if it's every once in a blue moon and you have a sitter that's just being so difficult, then it's just, that's okay, because you will get that. That's okay. But for the most part, I think you need to check your power. We fall back on our power. When it's not going quite the way you want it to, if you're struggling, it's probably your power. 99% of the time, it's your power. In my opinion, that's my opinion. Good question, though, because it happens. It does happen. I remember once I was doing a reading. It was a small group reading. I was actually at the college doing a class, and there was a a student tutor. She was in training, a teacher for the college. She's now a full-fledged tutor at the college, but at the time she was under guidance from a certified teacher at the college. Anyway, she just happened to walk by when it was my turn to be standing up in front of my group. And she just kind of looked at me and she goes, "Get your power up." And she did it in a funny, joking kind of way. Which wasn't mean in any way, shape, or form. And I kind of looked at her like, what? What do I do? How do I do that? And she must have psychically just picked up on the thought in my head, and she said, "Just take a deep breath. Push your power back. Push your power up. You can do better than what you're doing." And I did. And then just like that, the evidence just started flowing. It's going really, really good. So check your power. My opinion, for what it's worth.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deborah.
So, Katie, I know you didn't specify what constitutes a difficult client. I'm thinking of two instances. I'm sure there are many. Well, actually, I just realized probably being in deep grief would be problematic. But I am wondering about, although they are there and seemingly want a reading, especially if it's a first timer,
Yeah,
that they may have some fears and
they
they're
do.
not open. They put up a wall, a block. Like I know from healing class, we did that as exercises where when paired, we intentionally blocked the energy of healing from coming in. And
Mhm.
it feels, as the healer, really yucky because it just comes back at you and it's not pleasant when you're on the receiving end. Do you sense that as a medium when they're closed off? Do you feel the energy coming back at you?
Um, to me, when they're closed like that because of fear that they don't know what's going, what to expect or what's going to happen, or they're just a little scared. I mean, we talk to the dead. I mean, people, so there will be people who are frightened over that, but they need to hear from their loved ones. They come for a reason. I find those are the ones that are the easiest to break through to, because that's where I have to step in as just a person. And I have to, just have a chat with them before I ever start and reassure them. And I definitely will be linking in psychically or intuitively just to kind of get a feel of what's the fear here that we're dealing with? Is it religious? Is there a religious belief here that's scaring them? Do they think that I'm evil because of religious beliefs? Is it just the whole spooky Hollywood spooky talking to the dead kind of thing? And then I chat with them about it, just to kind of reassure them. And I want them to feel comfortable before I ever begin. And then I'm constantly intuitively checking with them intuitively once I start to make sure, and if you soften your voice and there's things you can do to make them feel at ease. And so to me, those are the easy ones, the ones that have the anxiety or the fear. It's the ones that are prove it. Those are the ones that are a little more difficult, because then you have to really put your own ego in check, because it's not a battle of I'm going to prove it to you. It's of I see you, I hear you, I recognize that you don't believe in this. Let's give this a go. Just be open. Let's just give this a go. And if you're not happy in 10 minutes, I'll be more than happy to end this reading and refund your money. I give them an out. I just give them the out. And after 10 minutes, they're not happy. But I've never had one after 10 minutes tell me they're not happy. And the more you start giving them evidence, they tend to melt a little bit. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them will. Yeah, those are the ones that they're tougher. But you can have difficult ones, like let's say you've got somebody who's under the influence. Well, once I put 2 and 2 together and I know that they're under the influence, I stop the reading. I'm not going to work with anybody who's under the influence of any kind of drug, legal or not legal. You're under the influence, now's not the time for you to get a reading. And so I won't move forward. You can also have, intuitively start to begin to pick up on not mentally stable. And if they're not mentally stable, I won't continue a reading either. So all of those can be difficult if you continue.